One moment, please. Just trying to track down my notes. There we go. Okay, round two. FCA 454, week 10. The evolution of the red carpet phenomenon from antiquity to the present. So, the red carpet is a hallmark of contemporary celebrity culture and extends far beyond Hollywood glamour. It is actually rooted in history. In ancient Greece, they used red carpets to honor gods and royalty. Like that. The earliest mention of a red carpet was in an Aeschylus play, Agamemnon, from 458 BCE, where a luxurious crimson tapestry was laid out to honor the king's return from war. The concept of the red carpet treatment, that showed up with the 19th century, and it was linked to the development of luxury rail travel. So if you're taking the train, the red carpet was reserved for the first class travelers. And they are rolling out the red carpet there so people can get on the first class train carriage. And that extended on into the idea of the exclusivity of the red carpet. Then it was adopted by Hollywood. And it was first used for a Hollywood premiere in 1922 by Sid Grauman. And you will probably know Grauman's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles. That was his. And that is where they originated the red carpet. The Academy Awards, which was first held in 1929, really cemented the red carpet as part of Hollywood's identity. So here we have some red carpet moments. We have the lovely Audrey Hepburn heading towards the carpet and Grace Kelly. There's Barbra Streisand, I think this was 1969 or 1970, in her see-through pantsuit going to the Oscars. There's Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, Hollywood royalty. That's probably late 1960s, early 70s. There's very 70s. That's Farrah Fawcett looking like an Oscar herself in her gold lame dress, and Marcello Mastroianni, the Italian actor. There is Latina bombshell Raquel Welch in Mugler in the 1980s, heading to, I believe it's the Oscars. And of course, Grace Jones always brings it and definitely brought it to the red carpet. And I'm pretty sure she's an Issey Miyake in this photograph. Madonna and Michael Jackson. This was either the Oscars or the Grammys. I'm pretty sure it was the Oscars, and she performed. And they came as he was her date that year for the awards ceremony. There were lots of interesting moments. This is Sharon Stone in the 1990s when she wore her husband's white Gap shirt with her $7,000 Vera Wang skirt. And it was a big moment because she wanted something more casual. And it was definitely the 90s, early 2000s had a minimalism to it. And Sharon Stone was definitely channeling that on the red carpet. So I could do a whole lecture on Aishwarya Rai at the Oscars or in Cannes, the Cannes Film Festival in France. CANNES is a major photo opportunity and has some spectacular red carpet moments. And so here we have the lovely Ms. Rai bringing it in various alt glamour extravaganzas. When we're talking over the top, this is what I am thinking about. This also is from Cannes. This is Fan Bingbing, and she is wearing a spectacular strapless gown to this movie premiere. So this dress is Christian Dior. It was when John Galliano was designing for Dior, and the buzz on this was that Dior paid her $100,000 to wear this dress on the red carpet of the Oscars. And it seems like a lot of money, but the amount of exposure and press that you get from this type of moment, like this went global. I mean, people were talking about it, this really stunning dress. So for them, obviously, it was worth it. Halle Berry, the year she won her Oscar. This was, I believe, Zuhair Murad. Um, and Elie Saab, thank you. Okay, I stand corrected. Elie Saab. And this actually just ended up in Saudi. They had a beautiful fashion show, and she flew in and wore this. It was Elie Saab. You were correct. Lots of beautiful handwork and over-the-top luxury. The Grammys, like the music awards, also have their red carpet moments. And we're looking for extra, all the details, all of the embellishment, all of the amazing visual spectacle that comes from a red carpet moment. And it can be alternative red carpet. This is Billie Eilish at the Oscars, and she's wearing a very Billie kind of Oscar moment, which is totally fine too. If you want to get into alternative over the top red carpet extravaganza, I am here for it. This moment was when Gwyneth Paltrow won her Oscar. I think it was Shakespeare in Love. And she regrets wearing this dress because it was this pink girly fantasy, but I think she looks beautiful. And it was a Ralph Lauren, and she really just looked like a little princess, which she regrets. But I think she looks amazing. She thought it was a little too sweet and girly for her image. All right, Billy Porter. So he brings it, definitely. Billy brings his own extraness to every red carpet that he is on, as you will see. That one, the hat had a moving mechanical part that opened up. It was like a curtain. Lots of beautiful metal feathers on this one. This was the Met Gala, which we are going to be talking about later on in this lecture. And Billy always brings it. Okay, so this Oscar moment was the musician Bjork, and she was wearing the swan dress. And then, if anyone remembers this, she laid an egg on the red carpet of the Oscars. And she certainly got a lot of press from this. Believe me, it went around the world. Okay, so Joan and Melissa were red carpet fixtures. Joan Rivers was a really funny, kind of groundbreaking American comedian. And she and her daughter would get on and just talk trash about everybody that was on the red carpet. I don't think you could get away with it anymore. We're in more politically correct times, but they were terrible talking about what people were wearing and the fit and, that sort of thing. All right, so it is a global phenomenon now, and definitely the influencers and the critics are shaping public opinion in real time at this point. So there is J-Lo, and this was a Grammys moment, and this photograph is considered to be what built the internet because people were Googling this Versace dress so much. If you look for like the most Google dress or something at the beginning of the internet, it was this Versace dress that she wore at that music awards show. Angelina Jolie always brings an elegance, an edgy elegance to her red carpets. Jennifer Aniston has a much more tussled California vibe to her red carpet moments. Charlize Theron always looks very glamorous. She's usually in Dior because she's a brand spokesperson for them. And I mean, she's a former model, so she definitely knows how to wear clothing and how to work it on the red carpet. And again, Nicole Kidman is, uh, if there was an Oscars of Oscar red carpets, Nicole Kidman would probably be winning that one. And there is Lucy Liu. Thing that I like about this is Lucy Liu is not a tall person. And she has a stacked platform on that probably adds about a foot to her height because it's a high heel at the back, and she's also got a huge platform on the front. So good for her. She's using everything she can to elongate her red carpet proportions. Beyonce at the Grammys, I mean, that's classic. You could just Google any year she's on there and she will be bringing it. And she also, as you see, will see, brings it to the Met Gala. Okay, so this red carpet moment was Met Gala. It wasn't the Oscars. And it was Rihanna in a guope cape, huge cape. And it was a big media moment. And then it went viral for all the wrong reasons because people thought it looked like an omelet. I mean, it's so sad because it was this incredible piece of craftsmanship. Guo Pei, if you know her, is an amazing designer from China. And she uses all these artisans to do all this hand embroidery and handwork. And, you know, yellow is an imperial color. And it was just a spectacular thing. And it probably took 2 years to make it. And then everybody thought it looked like the omelet. So there were all these memes of Rihanna with the ham and the green peppers and the omelet and the tomato on top of her cape. So things don't always go the way you expect them to go. All right, this is Gaga when she was on the pink carpet for one of the Met Galas, and she had about 6 different outfits underneath this. She kept taking things off. It was for the camp exhibition at the Met that year. Cardi B, always bringing the glamour, and this was a vintage Mugler that she borrowed from them, looking like Venus coming out of the shell. There's Billie again. Definitely over the top. I'm pretty sure we're into the Met Gala by this point. No, we're not there yet. We will get there. Okay, that was the Oscars again. Okay, so there's Taylor at one of the music awards and bringing a simpler elegance to her look. Doja in latex. And this this was a Met Gala moment. And it was Kim Kardashian wearing a vintage dress that had been originally worn by Marilyn Monroe. And I had a picture of that in there. Maybe it comes up later. But anyway, so Marilyn Monroe wore this dress to sing to President John F. Kennedy at Madison Square Garden. And it's this historical object. And it is owned by Ripley's, believe it or not. Like, you know, the Ripley's Museum, they have like all those strange things and world records and stuff. So they own this dress and they lent it to her to wear to the Met Gala. And people were outraged because apparently there's a bit of damage from getting her into it. She had to starve herself to fit into it. There was all these controversies around this dress and like what you can do with historical objects, because it should be in a museum, right? It probably shouldn't be worn because it was like, you know, probably 75, 80 years old by that point. All right. So there are some controversies, and one of the big reactions to the controversies is the green carpet. This is Livia Firth, and she was married to actor Colin Firth, and she originated the idea of the green carpet, which was stars wearing sustainable, organic, or ethically produced clothing on the red carpet, right? And Stella McCartney is a designer who's very involved with Livia Firth with the Green Carpet Challenge. So they are trying to demonstrate that sustainability and glamour can coexist. All right. Now let's talk about the Met Gala. So this is a fundraiser for the Metropolitan Museum in New York City, and in particular, the Costume Institute, which is their fashion collection, which is one of the best fashion collections in the world. And they have this annual event where the designers all come out and go over the top to reflect whatever the theme of the exhibition is that year. And there's Andre Leon Talley and Anna Wintour of Vogue. And so this is Anna Wintour's baby. It's a very high ticket fundraiser. The tables cost $100,000 each. You can't just, walk up and buy tickets. Anna Wintour has to decide if you're allowed to come. And it's not easy to get a ticket to the Met Gala. And I have to confess, I have yet to be invited, believe it or not. But reliably, the stars all show up in their finest. So this is Cher from the 1970s with Bob Mackie. And Bob Mackie designed all of those very Cher dresses with the feathers and the spangles and all that beautiful stuff. And the Met Gala did not used to be this global phenomenon. It used to be just a fundraising dinner. And this is Calvin Klein in the 90s with Christy Turlington and Kate Moss showing up. And it basically was like New York celebrities and money people would come and the models would come. And then it sort of evolved and then became the Oscars of fashion. So the most exciting stuff was happening and the designers would like fight over who was going to wear their outfit on the red carpet for the Met Gala. That is Alexander McQueen with Sarah Jessica Parker. There is Kate Moss with Marc Jacobs. Daphne Guinness is an eccentric and glamorous British heiress. She is from the Mitford dynasty on her mom's side, or maybe it's her dad's. Anyway, she's a Mitford in her grandmother's lineage, but she married one of the Guinness brewery family heirs. So she had lots of money and divorced him, but now she's just sort of eccentric and was a big promoter of Alexander McQueen. And one Met Gala year, she changed into her outfit in the windows of Barney's. Barney's was a store on Madison Avenue, New York, that was really a very cool store. And I was actually in New York and I saw part of this because I was in the neighborhood and I couldn't believe it because there was Daphne Guinness in the window of Barney's putting on her McQueen feathered dress. There's Giselle looking super glam. So definitely the designers go all out for this event because they're competing with each other to be the glamoriest glam that they can offer. There's Lady Diana in Dior, and it's one of the first. This was even before John Galliano had a runway show for Dior. Dior made this dress for Lady Diana to wear to the Met Gala before he'd even finished a collection for them, right at the beginning of his career with Dior. There's Claire Danes in a Zac Posen dress, very structured, very historical in its proportions. There's Iman bringing it. This was a couple years ago, and always reliably bringing that elegance and glamour to everything that she does. The Jenner sisters are always well represented at these things. They definitely have the designers fighting to make outfits for them. So this was interesting. So Billie went very kind of femme glamour one year, and her fans were not happy about it. She looked great. And she could do whatever she wants, but the fans kind of felt like she had abandoned her kind of outsider goth personality and been co-opted by the traditional, fashion and beauty glamour. And her point was she can dress however she wants, and she was having fun with it. So It was an interesting choice. There's Ariana. That was, I think, the Catholic Imagination was the theme one year. There is Solange. If you remember a couple years ago when this is Beyonce's sister, and she got into a fight in an elevator with Jay-Z, um, who is Beyonce's husband, and it was a big no, there was like video footage of her kicking him and stuff in the elevator, and I think he wrote it into one of his songs, or she did. I mean, I think Beyonce did. Anyway, so they were on their way to the Met Gala. So if you ever wondered which event that was heading towards, it was they were going to the Met Gala when that incident happened. All right, there's Sarah Jessica Parker. Great dress, except that the back of it had Oscar de la Renta written on it in big red script. It was like it was branding and identity, but not in a tasteful way. Because it was a great looking ensemble, but it just ruined it for me. Because if you Google the dress, there's this huge Oscar de la Renta logo, like 7 feet long, in the back of the train. All right, there's Gigi in a puffer. There's Nicole. If there's going to be a glamorous runway, she's going to be there. And I bet you that is Chanel because I believe she is a brand ambassador for them. There's Blake Lively. This was inspired by the Statue of Liberty. You see that green that's in there? It was inspired by the green of the kind of corroded copper of the Statue of Liberty. There's Blake again, and another spectacular dress for the Met Gala. And of course, Kim always brings it. There's Kim and Kanye when they were still together. This was a Mugler, and it was inspired by a Sophia Loren movie from the 1950s where Sophia Loren, I believe, comes out of the ocean all wet. And so they did this wet look gown for the Met Gala, and she is cinched and corseted to get into that. I believe it's Mugler. All right, this is another Kim moment, and this was by, what's his name? Demna, who is with Balenciaga now. And Kim is so famous that even with her face not showing, this went viral and everybody knew who it was anyway. This was a different year, but she always brings her A game to the Met Gala. There's the Marilyn Monroe dress again. Okay, so this is Kim wearing it. And that's Marilyn wearing it. I mean, it was such a scandal because it looked like sort of a simple dress. And then when the lights hit Marilyn Monroe, it looked like she wasn't wearing anything. So everyone just freaked out. And having it taken out of the museum setting and put back onto a red carpet caused a lot of pushback. All right, there's Doja. Dua Lipa. This was a Versace, you could probably guess, outfit. Rihanna, that was the Catholic Imagination one, and that pearl encrusted semi religious looking ensemble was quite something. This was for the Rei Kawakubo exhibition. And there is the Guo stunning cape that became the omelet meme of all omelet memes. That's right, she was pregnant that year and did a bump reveal underneath that floral jacket. Okay, then we have Beyonce, who has dominated the Met Gala, and she waits until everybody else is in. She shows up like an hour after because she wants full red carpet time to herself, which she uses to great advantage. Okay, so this one was one of the first nude dresses. Like the naked dress has become a real thing, and it's the sheer, heavily jeweled and encrusted, embellished, beautiful kind of overlay gown over very little. And Beyonce wore this to a Met Gala a couple years ago and broke the internet because people freaked out with how glamorous she looked and how provocative the dress was. All right. So in conclusion, the red carpet is more than a path to an event. It captures trends, influences fashion, and reflects social values. It serves as a stage for both creativity and activism. And that is the lecture on the red carpet.